everybody can have a little bit of what they want. Everybody's not going to have 100% of what they want, but that's the system we live in.
We have no ability to stop this. I don't know how many times we've said it, Dan said it, and we don't have the tools. So, you know, the stuff that you suggested to us, we understand that. You know, we've been working on the same thing. So, you know, we're doing all we can to get this right with what we've got to work with. Go ahead, Josh.
Josh Bernal, Rural Darlington. I will reiterate, we appreciate all you guys are trying to do. My question, I guess, would be, we talked about revisiting the ordinance, and I'm assuming that's costing us more money. So if I go in and do a job as a business owner, if we don't do it to the best of our ability the first time, we don't get paid to revisit. I'm wondering if that's costing us money. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Bernie Overshawn, 480 North, 500 East, Crawfordsville. All right, so we're talking about being fair. And I agree, things should be fair. I should be able to have the full amount of my property to do what I want to do with, as should someone who owns 600, 800 acres. Therefore, in order to be fair, we can fix this very quickly. I spoke to my banker and asked him if I wanted to build a home for my dad on my property, and it was within that overhang of the 1640 danger zone, then would you loan on it? And he said, absolutely not. Therefore, in order to be fair, if you want to put a wind turbine on your property, then that 1640 radius that's going to prevent me from getting a loan, and building a structure on my home should be completely contained on your property. That's fair to everyone. I'd like someone to explain to me why that isn't fair. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Brian, you can come on up here towards the front. We'll get you next.
Good morning. I get my phone to work. Kimbra Lowe, Sugar Creek Township. I just want to say out here, I don't agree with the fact that the commissioners say that there's nothing they can do on this issue. You guys are at the top of the food chain here on this county. You do have some leeway here to do something. But what you're failing to recognize is that Apex Wind Energy reps are like any door-to-door sales representative. They're trying to sell a product to you. So of course they're going to give you all the good sides about it and not mention the stuff that's not so good about it. So what are they throwing at you? Oh, there's growth, there's energy, there's money. But here's the thing, Montgomery County is not going to grow if we have wind turbines here. You can just take a temporary one of those field trips and see how desolate it is around a wind plant. Nobody wants to build a home around a wind turbine. There's no new homes or new businesses under construction around a wind turbine. As far as energy, they've even admitted it will not be used here for Montgomery County or even in the state of Indiana. As far as money, it will run out. That came from Erin Baker herself. So, there are so many cons when it comes to wind turbines, but the only pro, which is money. So let me ask you guys, which would you choose? Supporting your friends and family and community? Or would you rather choose to support an outside company that only spreads due to greed? Thank you.
I did not say we couldn't do anything. I said we can't stop us. So we are doing all we can do.
Thank you. Brian.
Good morning, Brian Parker, 343 East 800 North, Crawfordsville. Mr. Poole, I did mention earlier about the comprehensive plan to John about what's going on. All I'm going to say is, based upon the raw data from the comprehensive plan that I've seen so far, pretty much the majority of the people say they don't want the industrial wind turbines, and spending $80,000 for or something that's going to give feedback from the people of the counties. We've had 3 different meetings, and all I ask is to take into consideration what those are, what those people are saying. There's ways that we can bring more money into our county with getting manufacturing back into here, not necessarily needing the wind turbines to produce that. We need to grow the county. We need to have more people move here that are moving here to pay taxes to allow us to get to the next level, to redo our roads, our bridges, and everything else. So I'm just asking for you just to remember that, and not knowing how long that the wind turbines would be around. You know, a lot of people say 25 years, whatever. How long before they sell them off, and maybe it's going to be a Chinese company that's going to buy them. We don't need that within our county, even here in the United States. So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate your consideration.
I appreciate you, Ron, participating in the comprehensive plan as part of the no-win stakeholders group that you did. So, I mean, that's a process, you know. I mean, we didn't get here overnight, and it's going to take time, and we've got a couple of months left of that process. But you're right, that's the will of the people have spoken. But, you know, we're still trying to get to that point. So this is what we can do. We're doing everything we can do. This is what we can do today. But the people's word are pretty clear.
Anybody else?
Rich Watkins, Linden. We spoke a bit ago and said there's property line protection for the schools, but on the 2018-4, I don't believe it words in there that there's any protection for anybody with over 5 acres. So I don't know how truthful that is when you make that claim. And a while back you stated that you could not do anything without zoning, but you made a change and you made it worse. Because before we had this 5 acres over and under, there was protection. And after you did the 5 acres and under, or excuse me, 5 acres and over, or over 5 acres, that made a change for the worse. And you said you couldn't do anything, but yet you did something, and it made it worse.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, hearing none, then I'd say at this time that I would make a I'll let you up here if you want to say something. I'm not going to sit here all day waiting for somebody to make a move. Nobody's moving, we're going on.
Understood. Aaron Baker with Apex Clean Energy and the Roman Bison Wind Project. I agree that I appreciate your consideration of the agreements and your feedback today and the opportunity to actually improve upon these agreements. I think there are a few clarifications I'd like to make. One is with regard to the tax abatement reference. These agreements were drafted using the prior approved Sugar Creek Wind agreements as a template. There was some references there to tax abatement, and I agree that we can take that out because tax abatement is a whole other process. We recognize that, we understand that, and our project has the opportunity and ability to move forward without tax abatement. Those two things are disassociated from one another, so point well taken. And with regard to the vested rights language that a couple of you mentioned, because Montgomery County does not have zoning, there is no traditional siting use permit process that a lot of other wind projects go through and other special uses. So following the ordinance and the process that you have outlined, the vested rights allows a business, any business, to move forward with regulatory certainty, because I hear you want to attract more business to the county, and one way to do that is to have regulatory certainty. People are investing something on the order of $500 million, then you need to have that, and can't have every commissioners meeting some fear that there could be a change. But another clarification to make about it is that it absolutely does not change the commissioner's ability to change rules. It's just saying our project has a vested interest in this county, is what it says. And other subject matter experts, Mr. Taylor, have all reviewed these agreements, so I think they understand that. And with regard to the road use plan,
understood that there isn't a finite layout. Again, there's no siting process that you have here in Montgomery County. So what this does is this allows us to, again, everybody, roaming bison wind in particular, it provides accountability to us. Like, no matter where we may put roads in the future, this is the obligations, these are the payments that we are going to be beholden to the county to protect your roads, to protect for decommissioning with financial securities. So that's what that does now. And then there's still an opportunity, a requirement, in fact, to actually have approval of the highway department and the commissioners before the project can even get a building permit. So the agreements are not the last opportunity you have to regulate our project by any means, and it clearly defines that in the language, and I think that's my 3 minutes, so thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Mark Barkley, 3215 West, US Highway 136, Crawfordville. Heard a lot of negative comments, but one of your points, you have passed an ordinance, and I do encourage you to make sure you follow it, make sure it's enforced. I think that's very important for the county. But having said that, I've heard a lot of negative things, and a lot of them are suppositions and guesses. We just took a trip up into Wisconsin last week. Yes, there is industry being built right next to wind farms. That's absolutely false. We don't know what's going to happen in Montgomery County with their wind farms, so we can't say positive whether it will or won't occur. But one thing that's been passed over is they keep talking about property rights. As a landowner, I have property rights too. If you pass an ordinance, which you have, and they follow it, the income to me allows me to reinvest money in Montgomery County. If you take away these guys, we're struggling. You know that, Bill. You know that, Bill. We're struggling in the farming community now. This is an income. A lot of the protections and things that they're talking about, you have to put in place as long as you enforce them. This can be a positive for Montgomery County. I've talked to a few other people that have said that there are some businesses that would look for people that have renewable energy. You're talking about solar farms, here's another renewable energy. So there are some industries that would definitely consider Montgomery County wind farms. Thank you.
Thanks.
Shannon Halpers, 1400 North, 400 West Crawfordsville. Phil, I would like you to know that I bought my property with the full intent to build housing for my children later on when they're out of college and they're ready to be here. If these things pose a threat to my children's health or pose a threat to what are my rights on my property, which I understand my rights stop where someone else's begin, but that works both ways. The right for him to put these turbines just beyond my home stops me from making any decisions that I have for my future, for my children in this county. We will leave this county. We will leave these schools. I love these schools. I love this county. We will leave. Thank you.
Thank you.
He's not the only one struggling. We all struggle.
Anybody else? Okay, that being said, that's the end of the discussion. Either one of you have anything to add before we move on the process?
We revisited the decibel level from 60 to 50 decibels. By definition, the lessening of the decibel level increased the setbacks that we're talking about. It's just the way it is. You can look at the fact sheets. If the 5 acre thing is a problem, as I said, all I was trying to do is help the smaller landowner with a little bit more buffer. If you want to take it out, I don't care. We can take it out. And we'll go back to what we had. But I'll guarantee you it's not going to help you any on the arguments you presented today on your property rights. If anything, it's going to take some of them away. But it's my opinion, and you have yours.
Okay. That being said, the comments we've heard today, that I would recommend at this time in the form of a motion that we not move forward with accepting these agreements at this time.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to not move forward with approving these agreements at this time. Any other things? favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes 3-0. Next up on the agenda is the approval of minutes from the April 27, 2018 meeting. You should have both received copies and had a chance to review. I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussions or changes before the vote? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
There's no good place.
Down lower is the best. Next up is Jennifer with claims.
Yes, thank you. I have the accounts payable claims docket in the amount of $269,732.53. And I have the August 31st payroll docket in the amount of $336,713.87.
Make a motion to approve the claims.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the claims as presented. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes 3-2. Anything else from the auditor's office? All right, we'll need a little help today because I can't see yours like I used to. Is there any other department heads out there that have anything or elected officials? Okay. Seeing none. Next up is, under old business, is the Erosion Control Bid Award.
Roger Azar wrote that up and came in the office last week. Went through it, approved it. I don't know if Roger's here or not.
I've been in this building 25 years, I've never heard that. Let's try this.
Low bid.
Yeah, low bid, yeah, $20,000.
That was probably
Connor excavating. We have a bid from a company in Bane and one Connor excavating. Connor's was about 66,000, whatever the number is. There was about 20,000 less.
I would make a motion to accept the Conroe bid on the landfill.
I'd second that.
We have a motion and a second to accept the low bid of Connor Excavating for the Erosion Control Bid Award on the landfill. Any discussion? Dan, have you reviewed? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Now we're moving on to business. Resolution 2018-24. Amend Title IV Implementation Plan at Appendix H. Dan, you want to speak to that?
Yes, this resolution will be a change to your Title VI non-discrimination policy. The Department of Transportation reviews all plans every year, and this change is being made at their suggestion. And this would merely add a Schedule H, which is an I-Speak card, which essentially allows persons who have limited English proficiency the right to make that declaration of what language they do have proficiency in. It doesn't make any other changes to your policy, it just adds Schedule H to your policy line.
Just for the record and information for the public, remember Title VI, if you don't abide by Title VI, then your federal funding is at jeopardy too. They can get it back to where it needs, or get it to where it needs to be with their recommendation. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to approve Resolution 2018-14, which amends Title VI Implemental Plan.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. I apologize, I just messed up on the new rules. I forgot to ask if anybody had anything on that. It's going to take me just a little bit to get used to that. So. Try to do better going forward here. Introduction of 2018-25. Dan, I asked you to prepare this in reference to some things that we had studies done on county roads.
Yes, this ordinance would make 2 speed limit changes. First would be on County Road 225 West between Country Club Road and Black Creek Valley Road. It would make the speed limit there 45 miles per hour. And also on County Road 200 South from State Road 47 South to County Road 200 West, it would reduce the speed limit there to 40 miles per hour. This ordinance would make those changes and incorporate those changes into Chapter 70, which is your speed schedule. This is the introduction.
Anybody have any questions for introduction? Ryan, you have anything from the Sheriff's Department side of it?
No, I don't.
Okay. So both of these were brought to our attention, and we had the county highway go out and do studies on both of these roads, and obviously we both received a study as far as the amount of traffic on the roads. It also tells you the average speed limit, extreme speed, and everything from there. Both of these roads are traveled. Obviously, the 225 West is a heavily traveled road if you've ever been on that, and it is a nice road that is easy to get some decent speed up to, probably a lot more than needs to be. I think the study on that road showed that there was one car in excess of 78 miles an hour, so a little bit fast for a county road and people that want it. 200 South is also a new road that has been not only the new section that we put on from 47 over to where it connects right there by Tom's, but that was just recently repaved all the way to 200 West. Once again, a nice stretch of road, but it's a very short road, and it's also a narrow road. It's one of our narrower roads in the county, so, and there's several houses on that road, so it's something that's probably well worth looking into and moving forward with that. So that being introduction only, anybody from the audience have any comments on that? There won't be no action until our next meeting on this, but that's 2018-25. Okay, moving on. Introduction of 2018-26, and Dan?
Yes, this ordinance would make an amendment to the wind energy conversion systems, Chapter 155, particularly 15510A, and that provision would be added to say that the building commissioner may not issue a permit if the economic development agreement, road use agreement, or decommissioning agreement entered into by and between the board of commissioners and the applicant was executed more than 2 years prior to the date of the permit application. This change is designed to make it so that after some passage of time, those agreements would have to be reviewed again by you guys and could not be the basis for the wind project approval for an indefinite amount of time.
Okay. So you guys have heard of reference to ordinance 2018-26. Any questions? It's on the introduction. My recommendation would be, since this is a topic that we just spent probably 50 minutes talking about, that I would recommend that we suspend the rules and take action on 2018-26.
I'd move to suspend the rules.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? The vote is to suspend the rules. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That being said, now the action on 2018-26, I would entertain a motion for approval to pass the ordinance, and as Dan has explained what it does. Any,
Move to approve.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Any discussion from the audience?
Can you break down exactly what it was again? Sorry, I missed some of that thing.
I can read it to you and then you can comment. It says we're adding this language. The building commissioner may not issue a permit if the economic development agreement, road use agreement, or decommissioning agreement entered into by and between the board of commissioners and the applicant was executed more than 2 years prior
Currently, Chapter 155 places no limitation about how old those agreements can be. It could be 10 years, 15 years. And so the commissioners would like to impose some limit so that this information, the data on which those agreements are based, can be reviewed, make sure that they have good information, and they aren't stuck with an agreement that was entered into a long time ago.
Any other comments from the audience?
Would a CUO be grandfathered under that, or do we know how that would work?
We don't think they would be. We think that they would need an agreement. All those agreements would need to be less than 2 years old.
Thank you.
Anything else? All in favor of 2018-26, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Just sign off.
I guess we can send it back page on red lines.
Right.
Next up on the agenda is 2019 West Central Solid Waste commitment and annual contribution. County agrees to pay their contribution based on the following distribution schedule: 25% due by March 31st, which is $14,297, 25% due by June 30th, and 50%, which is $28,593, balance due by December 1st of 2019. So basically, 56 something. It's not, the total's not on here, but that's 56, 57,000.
I'd move to table that. We have a lot of questions about that. Some of them I think I'd like to ask Dan to look into. Definitely not going to sign that today or agree to it.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to table it. Any other discussion? After I said it's not on here, the total is $58,186 for the year, and that equates out to $1.50 per person in the case. The motion is to table it. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Next up, Jim, do you have anything you want to say on the USI proposal?
Yeah, Jim Peck, County Engineer. What we're looking at is, I've been working with NDOT, Indiana Department of Transportation. We've been looking at the Nucor Road and 136 intersection for the last 6 months. There is an opportunity now, the federal government's going to give an 80-20 split on this project. So I am going to, or with your agreement, we're going to study this and actually apply for the grant. This project, if we get awarded, will be probably constructed about 5 to 6 years from now, but we're going to make the application probably before the end of the year, which is the deadline.
I don't know who all was at that the meeting here, the council meeting here this last week, but this is part of the long-term, long-range plan we've got. As that grows out there, met and talked with the state several times. Right now, there's not the traffic out there that justifies that, but if you don't plan now, like we said, it's 6 years out.
That's always been a dangerous intersection with the downhill flow into 136, truck traffic. There have been some deaths there. And this was thought of years ago when we were designing the first phase of the sewer district as like a phase 4 option at that time. I'm glad that I'll be happy to move forward with this and improve the safety of that intersection. Hopefully draw some business in there in the future. From an economic development standpoint, when you have a a bad intersection like that, it somewhat gives you a negative comment on your application to compete with other communities. So at least we need to do the study. So I'm in favor of that.
This time I entertain a motion for approval of the USI proposal for 136 East Newport Road.
So second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? I'll just say that I agree, points well taken. It is a very dangerous intersection. We've been there multiple times on everything from minor wrecks to some pretty serious wrecks at that intersection. And I think back to Phil's point earlier on, situations like this that we're talking about that makes this whole thing about this road plan for the roaming device and stuff as important as it is, because you're looking at, as Jim said, this is a 5 to 6 year project, 5 to 6 year out project, and that's the kind of thing we talk about. If you get into using federal funds and stuff, that's just the way it works. The Country Club Road, when we looked into that, the same thing, it's a 5 year project going forward. So that's why it's important to get all this and get your ducks in a row and have an idea what's going to be where. So with that being said, I'll call for the question. All in favor of the agreement? Any comments from the audience? Old habits are hard to break. Being none, all in favor of approval of contract, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? And then moving on to F, consideration of the AIC Debt Collection MOU. Dan? Or Janet, you want to say something first? We'll let Dan follow. If there is any.
Okay, just wanted to talk to you guys just for a second about, just want to talk to you guys for a second about they call it the T-REX program. That stands for Tax Refund and Exchange Compliance System. I don't know how familiar you are with the AIC, the Association of Indiana Counties, but they are serving as a clearinghouse for this, and basically, just started last year. Counties are now eligible to intercept an individual's Indiana state tax refund if they are delinquent in the property tax. So that sounds like it could be a pretty complicated situation. So, like I said, it just started last year. There was a handful of counties that signed up. I opted not to because I thought, well, I'm going to hang back and see how this works out. But the